As part of LFA 2023, we unveiled a series of new benches in the Royal Docks as part of the Pews and Perches design competition with the Royal Docks team. Now in its 4th edition, this series of benches aims to improve London's public realm, celebrate emerging architectural talent, and connect people with the buildings and spaces around them. We caught up with each of the winning designers to find out the stories behind the benches. Here, Andrew and Kate tell us about their bench, the Chit Chat Chair.
My name's Kate.
And I'm Andrew, and our bench is called the Chit Chat Chair. It's based beside the Royal Victoria Dock floating gardens. It came to quite a strong concept in the end, derived both of the festival's theme being in common and the location being by the docks. We quite liked the idea that in the past the docks must have been crazy and bustling, and they've obviously gone through a decline and a quietening over 50 years, but now there's a regeneration program which is bringing a lot of public realm to quite a unique environment. The Pews and Perches competition, creates these little moments of public realm which are quite fun. And the in common theme means that we quite like that idea of sparking spontaneous conversations by putting people on our bench, which is a rather intimate composition. So you end up facing somebody directly, so you almost have to speak with them. And so that brings a bit of the bustle back.
The bench takes the shape of a kind of S-curve, so it means that when people are sitting at the bench, they're indirectly facing each other, which sets it apart from normal kind of park benches where people tend to sit in a linear line or will sit as far away from each other as possible at either end of the bench. So I think this whole idea about maybe sparking spontaneous conversation, maybe with people that you don't know. People are sitting side by side, facing opposite directions, looking at different things, but in a good position to be able to talk easily. What we really hope is that it's a kind of vessel for new conversations. This S shape is made up of 100 vertical battens. Most of them have had to be cut to a small taper to make that curved shape, which is quite a labour-intensive process. But again, because we're using materials that are all individually small pieces, it's meant that we've been able to build the bench ourselves in the workshop and assemble it on site.
Both timber and steel feel very apt for a former port, sort of the material you always think of when you think of ships or barrels or anything that you imagine coming on off ships by the quayside. And there's a quality to those materials that weathers in a way that you also associate with post-industrial sites. There's also a familiarity and a tactility that people quite like, especially with timber. It feels natural, but it changes over time, which is quite nice.
I think we were also keen to use a off-the-shelf material and something that's very manageable piece by piece, but when all these pieces are assembled, hopefully makes something quite unusual.
We've stumbled across sort of an accidental objective theme where in designing our S-shaped bench, we've almost got these two cylinders that sit side by side. And because they're composed from stripped timber that's held together with steel braces, we realized that we've accidentally created two contemporary barrels sitting side by side. And you see that throughout all the historic pictures of the Royal Victoria Dock.
I think it's something really nice about doing this kind of work in a little team and kind of problem solving as you go, and nothing is quite how you expect it to be. Things always take longer than you expect. But I think being kind of flexible about the way that you do things and the amount of time that you need to do it, it's just great to be doing something practical.
We've built up a steady portfolio of small-scale bespoke projects, ranging from anything from sheds to staircases to bits of furniture in the house, even a classroom. Because every design we do is different, we always end up having to work out new processes, new tools in the workshop. But we've built up a confidence of handcraft, which helps us go forward with our projects.
We met studying architecture and now both work as architects. So it's great to get the opportunity to actually see something that you've designed and then able to build in a relatively short period of time, because most of the projects that we're involved in take years. We've always done things either for ourselves or for family and friends, but doing something that's going to be in the public space and can be used and interpreted by hopefully lots of people is really exciting.
If you've enjoyed this conversation and would like to listen to more like this, search for Building Sounds on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your favourite podcast.